back to the channel, and today a quick review for this, Deadhouse Gates, Book 2 in Malazan Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson. So this is a rather large book, 960 pages in mass market paperback, probably a little less in hardback, but around 300,000 words. So it took me a couple of weeks to get through this one, but it was certainly an interesting ride. So the composition of this novel, I would say the first 600 pages, unfortunately, are a lot of bluster. But then the next kind of 350 pages, the final 350 pages, deliver a lot, and they deliver in a very satisfactory manner. Now, one of the reasons that some of those 600 pages really come across as bluster, as I said, is the characters. A lot of poignant or kind of important plot moments happen for characters in the first 600 pages, but they do not feel earned. It feels like our characters aren't properly embellished or established yet, and a lot of those character moments do not feel earned. Unfortunately, several of the characters in this novel really lack the individuality that we had from Gardens of the Moon. They aren't as strong on the page and as instantly recognizable as some of those previous characters, though Mappo and Coltane really did stand out as offering a bit of texture. I did find, unfortunately, though, kind of characters like Culp and Duca, they really didn't come across as being particularly individual. And it did take me about 700 or 800 pages until I really kind of felt them on the page each time they spoke. I knew kind of what their personality type was, you know, their motivations and stuff like that. They don't come across as inherently as they did in Gardens of the Moon. Now, it is a book where many of the characters are on quests or journeys, but there are several kind of twists or fake outs along the way that kind of make those journeys and quests redundant. And much of the journeying and what we experience is good character development, but it does feel a little bit like wasted time to these characters and to the plots overall. But I do not want to scare you off at all. Later moments, character moments and plot points, especially from the last 300 or 400 pages, are delivered very well. And those earlier moments do really offer a foundation in which that can be applied. One thing I think is maybe a help and a hindrance in this manner is this is a very dark series. Characters do tend to die, but there are four main mechanisms in the novel that really muddy the waters. One is miracle healing. There are several cases in the series so far where people are kind of healed through magic, and there's like a miracle healing taking place. There is ascendancy, there is Hood's Gates, there is rebirth in this. So there are several different mechanisms for characters to basically not stay dead. And that really messes with the way that the reader can relate to those moments where someone dies, when someone is believed to be on the brink of death, when they are kind of imparting their final breaths. Are they their final breaths? Do we care as much? It's an interesting thing to think about. And it makes the reader think. This is a series so far in the first two books that has really made me think a lot, make me consider plot-wise and character-wise what exactly is going on at all times, because you don't know where the next twist or deep fake is coming from with Erikson. So you kind of have to be on your toes and pay attention to every line in these books. Battles next. Battles are a little bit hit and miss in this. I found that early doors, Erikson really struggled with being able to pan out on larger battles, and it was hard for them to feel necessarily engaging. But again, just like everything else in this novel, the final two battles in this were delivered, what I believe is expertly. You know, we got the ability to pan out and see the larger and smaller picture. You know, I certainly wasn't lost in moving around in the battles, the final two battles in this book. So certainly they get better as they go. Like most things in this novel, if you are finding it a little less engaging in the first half, those things all do come together by the end. The battles improve, just like the character work in this novel. I would say the main theme of this novel is really in suffering and the subsequent trauma that comes out of suffering and how that affects everyone and the nature of the world. Yeah, these moments, I will warn you, they vary massively from very kind of poignant and emotionally resonant to kind of awkwardly out of place. Some of the moments where we are having interactions between characters based on someone being hurt or killed or things they have witnessed, sometimes, you know, someone will burst out into tears and I could care less. I don't know why, but sometimes they hit extremely hard, and sometimes I I don't get it. So this review might seem a little negative, but I don't want to discourage people. I really enjoyed my time with it. It is a book, Erikson has delivered a book that's more than the sum of its parts. It is a novel that improves over time. And at the end of the day, when it's good, it's really, really good. So in the end, I would actually give Deadhouse Gates by Steven Erikson a 4.1 out of 5.